Still on my mind, just felt like the right album title, just to say that, you know, music's still on my mind and I miss it.
I wanna wake up with your way by my side.
I never stop writing, it's just sort of part of my life. It's sort of part of how I see the world is through songs. This album was actually like a really, really natural album to make. I just started really missing working with my brother, and so I called him up one morning and was literally like, look, I'd love to make another record, but I only want to make it if it's with you. The whole record is very electronic based, harking back to all the music that I love, because I just love dance music. It's where I come from, it's where I started. I was a backing vocalist with Faithless. I was singing on various dance tracks, some of which I hope never come to light. So even if a song is actually a sort of slow song, it might have like dance sounds on it. And but yeah, there's also just some out and out dance tracks on the album, and Take You Home is one of them. It's an idea that was going around in my head for a long time, and just about, you know, how no one's really got it that sorted. You know, we look at people and it's like, oh, they seem to know what they're doing, and I don't, and I'm not sure that many other people do. Well, some people do, not me. Some Kind of Love is actually some lyrics of Rollo's that I found and then just sat on the guitar writing the song, because I just thought they were beautiful, and they're just telling a story. What I love about Rollo's lyrics is they're just full of images and poetry, and I always just see a film when you know, when I read his lyrics, and this to me is like a sort of dusty old movie, and sort of quite nostalgic, and, you know, sort of bittersweet, which a lot of the songs are. My favourite song on the record sort of changes daily. I think probably the one that is maybe the most emotional to me is Have to Stay, which is the last song on the album, and that was actually the song that just started the whole ball rolling for the album. I sort of hadn't written much that I thought was any good. I'd written a lot of songs after I had my son, but I don't know, it just felt like my brain had sort of gone elsewhere, and then one day I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to write a song about how I feel and the love that I have, you know, that unconditional love that you have for a kid, and then I'll just throw it away and we're done. You know, I've got it out of my system. And anyway, I wrote this song Have to Stay, which I just love and I'm proud of, and it still moves me, and he loves it too. Of all the things in my life, you know, I just get so much sort of happiness from being a mum. Musically, it does a lot of things. It actually has given me like this huge confidence that I probably didn't have when I was making records like No Angel or Life for Rent. I often see where I wrote songs or where I made albums when I think back at them, and then you sort of have a feeling like No Angel was sort of made in my little flat at the time. I really did not think anyone would hear it. No one thought anyone would hear it. It's a bit of an experiment, it's a little bit fragile, you know, it's my first attempt at sort of making music like that. And Life for Rent, what I see is sort of, well, it takes me back so much to the studio we were in, surrounded by friends. I'd just come back off tour. There's a real sort of confidence to that record. It's a much more sort of coherent record in a way, you know, there's a sound there that sort of stayed. Safe Trip Home is a little, you know, it's a darker record, it's a sadder record. It was written at a time where, you know, my dad had passed away, and I was feeling, you know, pretty sort of knocked about by that, and it's a sort of very emotional record, and actually one that I decided not to tour because it was sort of, there were some hard songs to sing on there. And then Girl Who Got Away is, I don't know, it's sort of like it's a lighter record, and, you know, I had a new baby and I was pregnant actually when I was singing that whole record, so I had this sort of lovely feeling when I listened to that record of like, you know, my son was like there the whole time while I was singing. And actually when I would sing the songs to him when he was out and a baby, you know, he recognised them. It was so bizarre, like he sort of almost recognised a lot of those songs, and so that's what that album was. And then this album just feels, there's this sort of strength in it, and it's sort of a confidence, there's a happiness about it, and a sort of, you know, and it's emotional as well. The things that I missed were singing the songs to people who really enjoy what you do. Like I've genuinely missed those moments, but Now I've actually started sort of singing them to people again, you get that real rush of excitement. It's almost like I sort of forgot what touring was for a minute, and now I'm remembering, and it just feels like the most exciting part of all this for me. You know, that's the sort of new exciting part. On the one hand, I really feel like I'm starting again, and I've got all of that anticipation and excitement, and real enjoyment actually of sort of just starting again, but with the confidence of you know, I've done this and always loved it. Yeah, it just feels really fresh to me, and you know, I didn't mean to leave it quite as long without touring, but in a funny sort of way, it's made this point in my life now like beyond exciting.